Minecraft, the breakout hit of Mojang, holding the highly prestigious title of largest video game with hundreds of millions of players all over the world. As I'm sure you'll know, Minecraft is a block-based game. You spawn on cubes of grass and stone and break prismatic trees to make yourself a big cube you can carry out to craft what you'll need to progress through the game. The game is both figuratively and literally built on blocks. In fact, there's over 700 blocks in the game as of the most recent update 1.19. But that begs the question, what is the best block in Minecraft? Out of the hundreds and hundreds of blocks available to players, which one can definitively be called the best and why? In today's episode of Minecraft Uncovered, we explore the contestants for such a title and explore the game to find what just might be the best block in Minecraft. What is the best block? That's a very subjective question, not exactly an easy one for me to answer, and even if I could, it probably wouldn't be right. I can say what I think, but not everyone is going to agree with me. But even though I can't make a final decision by myself, I can narrow it down to a few strong, basic contenders. Let's start with stone, a very, very integral part of the game. Stone is vital for all sorts of building, mining any resource except for coal, and crafting other important blocks like furnaces. But despite the many difficulties and setbacks you would encounter, you could theoretically beat the game without any stone. You can reach the nether by using water and lava buckets, so you can skip out on mining iron for flint and steel. Then you can use beds to take out the ender dragon and beat the game. It would take a while, and it probably wouldn't be very fun, but it would be possible. So let's focus on another block, one that might be a bit more obvious of a pick: the crafting table. The gateway to the rest of Minecraft, this extremely basic block made of just 4 planks is going to be pretty vital to completing the game, even more so than a furnace or the stone needed to create it. But again, it's actually possible to beat the game without one, which IBX Toycat and a few others have shown off. Regardless of whether it's possible though, good luck making armor, tools, storage, or pretty much anything else other than a dirt hut with maybe a few pieces of raw beef scattered around it to keep you from starving to death. Clearly, the crafting table is pretty important, but we might be overlooking something here. What about wood? I mean, after all, you can't make a crafting table without wood. You can certainly find one in villages, but if wood didn't exist at all, neither would crafting, and neither would your enjoyment of the game, since you'd be restricted to the absolute basics. Along with that, wood functions as an essential block for builds of any sort, and even doubles as a fuel source to help you in a pinch if you're out of coal. So yeah, wood is pretty important, but you know what? I think we can take it a step further. Grass. A block so important it's been used as the icon of the game for over a decade. But besides that, it's pretty much completely necessary to the game. If you don't have grass or dirt, you can't grow trees, which means you can't get wood, which means you can't craft, which means you can't do much. But along with that, grass has a lot of other purposes. You need it to spawn other mobs, you need it to feed the other mobs, you need it to grow crops, and a heck of a lot more. If grass didn't exist, Minecraft life as we know it would be dead. But if a world only had the grass removed, most people would get used to it pretty quickly and play the game for the most part as normal, just with a bit less green and brown. This could be extended pretty much as far as we want. Grass would need water to grow, and water is 33% oxygen, so then air blocks are the most important, even though that's not actually how the game works, and so on and so forth. So what really is the best block? Not according to me, but the Minecraft community. Well, that's exactly what I set out to answer with a poll I sent out just a few weeks back. Over 1,000 responses later, the results are in. Let's take a look. Before we get to the actual votes, allow me to explain the process. The poll was a simple one, just a 2-question Google form asking for a favorite block and a username to associate it with. For the purpose of simplifying the process of going through all the responses, I decided the poll would have a few important blocks front and center, ones that I expected lots of people voting for. That includes the blocks we talked about before, like grass, wood, and crafting tables, but also some other blocks that were less useful than they were just fun. Beacons, diamond blocks, bedrock, TNT, and more. But though I did give these options out, I also offered and explicitly pointed out a completely custom option that anyone could use if they had something new I hadn't listed. The poll was sent out in 3 different places. Firstly, the polls channel in my Discord server, link in the description, then a community post on my channel, and finally a link in the description of my most recent migration video. I also mentioned it at the end of the video. Inevitably though, with all this being considered, there's gonna be some bias and I accept that. These are all avenues that involve mostly my community and not the full Minecraft community, and considering my channel is heavily based on history and news and things like that, there's probably gonna be a lot more logical answers like crafting tables, and you'll see the results reflect that. If another YouTuber were to do this, say Sunday for example, you'd be getting many more answers for more fun blocks like diamonds and TNT, as well as cobblestone since that's an inside joke of his. Outside of that though, there's still going to be a little bit of bias. More people are likely to click on one of the preset options than to choose a custom choice, and the preset options that are closer to the top will probably get more votes than those at the bottom since you see them first, and so on. But this is all to some extent minutia. Making the assumption, and it's a bold assumption, but making the assumption that those that voted on the poll actually thought about what they wanted to answer and why, these should be pretty negligible concerns for the most part. With those disclaimers out of the way, let's get into the vote, starting with the runner-ups. Now, if you expected to see your favorite block winning the vote, I'm sorry to say those dreams will probably be dashed right here. They certainly did for me with my personal favorite of prismarine bricks, which a total of exactly 1 other person voted for. Panda, whoever you are, I salute you. In fact, only 1 block got a significant part of the vote because of presumably just being liked by players, and it has a whole section of the video to itself. Trust me, you'll see why. But let's go down the list and see the blocks that just weren't quite loved enough to win the vote. To the 3 of you that voted for some variant of lightly weathered cut copper stairs which were sometimes waxed, I'm sorry to say your pick did not make it to the finals, but thanks for coming out anyways. The lightly weathered cut copper stairs fanbase is certainly going to be growing in the future, I can see it already. 3 of you voted for redstone blocks, and 1 voted for redstone dust, which isn't really a block, but I guess it can be placed, so I'll give you a pass. But you're the only guy to get one because there were multiple votes for things that were not blocks and have never been blocks, and I'm not sure how this happened. To the guy that voted for the Totem of Undying and the not 1 but 2 votes for egg, what are you doing? Maybe I wasn't clear enough, but also it's the 5th word of the title, so what else can I even do? I also saw some blocks I literally did not know existed, including the Shroomlight, the Education Edition specific Deny block, and the modified dirt placeholder known as an update game block, which is exclusive to Bedrock Edition. By the way, shout out to the 3rd guy to take the poll whose favorite block literally isn't even in the game. It's the Rats Mod Trash block, and I understand what each of those words means separately, but together they really hurt my brain. Oh, and another thing, what's with the people that made a custom answer just to say the same thing as one of the other options? Like, some of them at least had an explanation for why they picked it, so I understand, but 2 of you made custom answers just to say the word wood and leave, so just what went through your head? And finally, among the other blocks that received multiple votes but couldn't make it in, we have 10 votes for the Deep Slate family of blocks, 8 voters for some type of wool, including 1 that completely skipped on the poll and chose YouTube comments instead, nice job, 5 votes for some type of concrete, and 4 votes for some form of stone bricks, or as one of you put it, that thingy you make with 4 stones kek. There was another 5 votes for the shulker box, 3 votes for ice blocks, which I'll count separately from water, 3 of you voted specifically for the furnace, 3 of you voted specifically for petrified oak slabs, 3 of you voted for air, which I guess counts, 3 voted for amethyst, which I had to look up just to make sure it was an actual block, and there was a whopping 8 votes for the command block, which I'm frankly ashamed to have forgotten. Oh, and let's not forget the not 1 but 4 votes for Sponge, which I thought we all agreed was the worst block in the game. Did you guys misread the title or do I need to cut off some friendships, you know? There were a ton more votes than that, and the results are public for anyone that would like to check them out, link in the description, but in the interest of not going through another 100 or so custom submissions, let's move on to the winner of the vote. Or at least that's what I would have said if people were normal, but of course people aren't normal, of course someone had to ruin the fun, of course there were 929 votes for dead coral, help! I didn't even know that was a block, but I guess the entire population of Vatican City plus their dogs disagree with me. Is that what it is? Some city just held like a town hall meeting, and item number 1 on the agenda was rigging the block vote in favor of dead coral? This? The literal epitome of depression in a 16 pixel cube? I genuinely don't know where this came from. Like, there was literally not a single mention of the block anywhere on my channel, in my Discord, nothing until December 1st where Bisou just like asked a few people to vote for it. It was already getting bad a few days ago when there were like about 40 votes that tied it up with another block, but I come back today and there's like 900 iterations of the Invisible Man scattered throughout the multiverse all voting for dead coral. What kind of us spin-off is this? At least some of the votes are legit. We had like 7 legit votes for it, which is still more than 1, which is still more than 0 where it should be, but yeah, the bots took over, I guess. Or God forbid, some poor sap took the time to manually submit 1,000 MCBYT poll votes for dead coral. We're moving on. And now for the winner, the star of the show, the one you've all been waiting for, Wood! Wait, no, that wasn't exciting enough. Let's try again. Wood, the best block in the entire game. Minecraft Boss YouTuber's poll says so, it has to be true. But seriously, Wood destroyed the competition. We were actually dangerously close at first to crafting tables taking the lead, but Wood got a few more votes at the last second. It probably would have won anyways though, since there were 9 people that chose the custom option either to display their love for wood, add a second favorite of theirs along with wood, choose a specific variety of plank or log, or as we mentioned before, send a custom message for literally no reason at all. Combine that with the fact that the runner-ups of crafting tables and chests were both made entirely of wood, and this is a pretty clear-cut win for wood blocks everywhere. Never mind the 17 guys that remembered you need dirt to grow trees, they're clearly thinking about this too much, or something, I don't know. To those winning voters, you get, nothing, but I'll put a list of your names at the end of the video, I guess. Thanks everyone for coming out, or more like clicking a few buttons at home, whatever, you still made the video possible and I hope you all enjoyed it. I might do videos like these in the future for items or ores or something else like that, but I want to see how you guys like this one first. That's all I got to say though, so again, thanks for watching and have a good one. Peace, peace.